Right guys, happy Homebrew Wednesday. I hope that you're having a good week, and I hope your brewing activities are going to plan or smoothly. This Homebrew Wednesday is going to have a bit of a moral story to it, which is to not give up. If things aren't going right, it's never as bad as you think it is. And I'm hoping that quite a few of the experienced homebrew members out there will leave a comment below to reassure you if anyone else is new to brewing and is running into some problems and thinking that it isn't for them, or things are going that wrong that you're going to give up. Don't do it. Alright? If you are watching this and you make videos and upload them onto YouTube, then you are part of the homebrew community. If you are watching this and you don't upload videos, but you just watch the brewing and the Homebrew Wednesdays and everything related to Homebrew Wednesdays and homebrewing, then you are still part of this homebrew community. Which means that when things go bad and the shit hits the fan, you've always got people out here or out on YouTube or wherever that's going to be able to get you out of the shit. There's always a way around stuff. So before I go on with the rest of the Homebrew Wednesdays and you think, why the hell is he saying this, I just want you to bear that in mind. I spoke to a few of my friends that have started homebrewing. They've run into various problems and sort of straight away have sort of thought, well, this ain't for me, due to the fact that things are going wrong. A couple of guys at work have said the same thing, but I urge you to take a deep breath, step away from the problem, contact some guys that are in the homebrew community and they'll sort you out. No one will laugh at you on here. They might laugh at you, but in a nice way, but they'll help you. Right, so with that being said, let me tell you a little story that I have encountered. Can you remember me saying this? Let's head across to the Smash. I've got 14 days before I need to get it sent out, so I'm well in the time to get it sorted. Yes, I'm talking about the Smash brew that we brewed up for the Spring Smash Off 2014 that Zippy is very kindly hosting and organising. I had all the time in the world, I thought. Don't rush it, let it chill, let it clear. Don't rush into the secondary dry hopping. I checked it last night on Tuesday, did the Homebrew Wednesday, racked the beer out of primary and into secondary onto hops, which I hadn't opened yet. It's smelling beautiful, but then I took a hydrometer reading, and as soon as I took the hydrometer reading I realised that something was not right. And your first reactions, especially when you're brewing a beer to sort of post out as part of like a competition, is to panic. I took the hydrometer reading and it was 1035, closer to 1040, from 1063, which was the starting gravity. Instantly was like, oh shit, what has happened? I have now left myself with virtually no time in which to sort it out. It tastes fine, it smells absolutely gorgeous, but still it was 10:35ish. So I finished the Homebrew Wednesday up, I came inside, got straight onto the Facebook Brewers chat and was asking away at the questions. And who was there to wipe the tears from my face but Harry, Brew 69. He helped me out. He run through a few troubleshooting questions with me about how it was mashed, what temperature, what I'd used, what yeast I'd used, what temperature I'd fermented at. And then Zippy came along and he threw his 2 penneth in, which was extremely well appreciated on my behalf. And we come to the conclusion that it had sort of had a stalled fermentation, although it was hard to believe because it fermented like the clappers for at least 4 days. I've started taking a brewing logbook on the brews that I'm doing now, so luckily it was all written down, and it said that after the 4th day fermentation had slowed, so it hadn't stopped, it was still fermenting. So it was probably fermenting for a good sort of five days, and then we took it out the fermentation chamber to let it chill and clear, ready for the dry hopping. And it had been like that for another 2 weeks. So so something had happened. So what I've done is I've brought it inside, out the cold brewery. I can't put it back into the fermentation chamber because the midnight mystery that is fermenting now is taking up space in there. So I brought it inside where it's warm. It's actually behind you, and we come to the sort of conclusion that it probably needs some yeast nutrients and some more yeast just to finish her off. What was sort of comforting was that Zippy said that he'd brewed a big beer before and this similar sort of thing had happened to him, and he then explained how he got around it. So that's what I mean at the start of the video. I hope the more sort of, like I say, experienced home brewers will sort of reassure anyone else that's watching this that might have stumbled across this who's new to brewing, thinking that everything's going wrong, what do I do? I hope they leave the comments below saying that, you know, this has happened. It happens to the best of them. Notice I didn't say it happens to the best of us. I still consider myself a beginner in the all grain brewing, but I'm sure it's happened to the best of them. So what I'm going to do is I had suggestions off of Zippy and Harry. Harry suggested using some US-05. Zippy suggested using some Nottingham ale yeast, but because I am down to less than 2 weeks before I've got to send it out, I didn't have time to order any online, and I knew the homebrew shop would only have their generic ale yeast or this Mangrove Jack's sort of selection that they've got in. So let me show you what I've got to go in it. So first of all, I'm going to add some yeast nutrient to the brew, just to make sure that the yeast that I'm adding gets a good head start. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first add the yeast nutrient to the brew, because what I've noticed is that since I've brought it into the warmth, sort of agitated whatever yeast is left over from racking the beer into secondary, I've noticed that it is bubbling through the blow-off tube ever so slightly, sort of one bubble every sort of 2 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pitch some yeast nutrient in there just to see if that starts the fermentation off a bit more vigorously, and then if after probably Saturday nothing has changed in the readings when I do another hydrometer reading, then I will pitch the yeast and get it going again properly. I don't really want to pitch this yeast if I can get it started. So that is the plan, to save the smashed otter. The beers need to be sent out a week on Friday, so I've probably got a week and 3 days. So if it takes a week to ferment, let's say, I've still got 3 days to get it sort of prime, bottled, caps on, and the labels attached. So yes, all this time I was saying I've got plenty of time. I have now got hardly any time to sort it out. But cheers guys, you know who you are. Thanks for your help. Don't be afraid to ask anyone else who's watching that's got sort of issues or questions. Don't think people are going to laugh at you, make fun of you. Just get them asked and you will get an answer. On other news that's been happening in the brewery, the Midnight Mystery, touched on it just a second ago, and what I've done is, after putting the Midnight Mystery into the fermenter and put it in the fermentation chamber, I unknowingly knocked the lid off of it, or the lid came out of the carboy. So I put the bung back in, and I got a little bit of action out of the blow off, but nothing tremendous, nothing to write home about. So I put it down to the fact that it had done most of its vigorous fermentation during the open fermentation. It's happened to me before, sort of over a night, a period of a night, it sort of beers have fermented on me and then sort of just eased off for the rest of the days fermenting. So I wasn't too fussed about it. But then I went into the brewery yesterday to film this Homebrew Wednesday, and the bloody thing was bubbling away. So I haven't checked it. It's either wild yeast which has got a hold and is growing like Billy-O, or it was a slow starter. The yeast took quite a while to sort of start fermenting. But I'm going to probably check it during the next week's Homebrew Wednesday when I do the updates on the smashed otter. But that's about it, guys. I'm going to keep it short because I've got a lot to do. It's Wednesday today. I want to edit this up and get it out there. So that's it. I'll see you all soon. See you later, guys. Keep home brewing, Pinky out, and let the laughs begin. I've gone.